My name is Teal Trim. I'm from Team 16 for Object Oriented Programming 2, and I worked on the source code and the unit tests for the group project.
Hello, my name is Javante Balu, part of Group 16, and I worked on the coding as well as unit testing coding for the Object Oriented Programming 2 project.
Hi, good day. My name is Ryan Ramdin, and I am part of the Team 16 COMP3607 project group. I worked on the documentation.
Good day, my name is Kyle McIntosh. I'm from Team 16 and I worked on documentation.
Good day, my name is Riaz Hussein and I worked on the documentation.
Alrighty then. Hello and welcome to the presentation on our Java evaluation application. This project evaluates student-submitted Java files by extracting the .java files from .zip submissions. It applies evaluation strategies to assess the correctness and style of the submissions, and it generates professional-looking PDF feedback reports for students. We've implemented 3 design patterns to make the application adhere to the project requirements. We use the strategy pattern, which allows us to define multiple evaluation strategies that can be applied independently. We use the composite pattern, which treats all strategies uniformly, simplifying the evaluation process. And we use the template method pattern, which provides a structure for the evaluation workflow while allowing customization in specific steps. Now, as previously mentioned, I worked on source code and unit tests. And let's start with the naming convention class. I basically implemented this class. All the real logic sits, yeah, it's not very fancy. It really just checks if the file has a uppercase letter to begin its name with. Implementing more complex string logic was difficult given time constraints. Yeah, if it adheres, it gives a perfect score, else it gives partial credit. Probably shouldn't penalize you too much for incorrect naming. At least you still have your assignment. I also worked on some of the testing, as I mentioned before, unit tests. And this is the Java file evaluator test class. And the real logic sits here in this unit test. And what it does is it just evaluates all the .java file. It just verifies that all the .java files are properly evaluated and that their scores are stored properly. It's pretty simple, really. So I furthermore worked on pieces of the PDF report generator class. I cannot take credit for this entire class because Java did a lot of the logic down here to actually put the scores into the PDF, but I did get the basic setup done, creating a new PDF document, putting the student ID at the top of the PDF, that sort of thing. I got the class going, but all the real fancy logic, I gotta say, he's responsible for that. And I did get us started with decompressing zip files, grabbing them from a directory and putting our PDFs in a upper directory, checks for input and output directories, and basic stuff like extracting the student ID and making sure we don't have like um, you know, blanks or anything like that. That's pretty much it. Uh, the rest of code will be explained by Javonte. Thank you for listening to my section of the presentation.
So, the submission processor class is responsible for processing student submissions, and it extracts files from a zip archive and collects the .java files for evaluation. The process submission method, this orchestrates the extraction and filtering of the files within the zip file. Sorry. So what it does, it creates a temporary directory using the create temp directory method, as well as calls the unzip method to extract all contents of the zip file into a temporary folder. It also calls the collect Java files method to recursively gather only the .java files into a list. And for the unzip method, handles the file extraction. And so its purpose is to extract the contents of the zip file into the target directory. And how it works, it iterates through the zip entries, creating directories or extracting file contents as necessary. And it ensures that the directory structure is preserved and all files are written to the disk. The collect Java files method, this is responsible for filtering the extracted files and collects only the .java files. So it recursively traverses through the directory and subdirectories, and it adds any file with a .java extension to the Java files list. I also worked on the Java file evaluator class, and this class is basically responsible for evaluating the .java files within the zip. So it applies multiple strategies to evaluate the files, and it collects the results and makes them available for report generation. So the evaluate method within the class, it applies all strategies to the Java file and stores results. The strategies meaning the naming convention, the method behavior, and the class relationship. And what it does, it iterates through the list of Java files provided by the submission processor class, and it stores the scores in the detailed results map. And the getter method is then called, and it provides access to the evaluation results, including scores for each strategy being naming convention, method behavior, and class relationship. So the method behavior strategy, so this ensures that the required methods are present and correctly named in the student's code. And the evaluate method checks for the presence of required methods and validates method naming conventions. So it reads the file line by line. It searches for required methods like generate response, and it ensures that each method starts with a lowercase as per the camel case standard. So for the PDF report generator, I extended upon Thiel's logic, and I would have done yes. So I added this to basically get more detailed feedback to every file, and it was to provide transparency and clarity in the report, showing exactly what students scored, what they did, how they did in each test throughout each test. So for the app class, the main class, I worked on integrating the evaluation and report generation into the app class. So what I did was I added the Java file evaluator. Okay, so what this does, it orchestrates the evaluation process and it generates the final report for the student. And I basically implemented it to centralize the workflow and making it clear and easy to maintain. And lastly, I wrote the method behavior test to validate the method behavior strategy, and this ensures that the required methods are detected correctly and it was implemented to validate the functional correctness of the strategy.
Forgot to mention, I also worked on this unit test over here and a few of the other unit tests, but the unit test work wasn't as clearly divided as the source code work, so just had to mention that. Okay, that's about it. Forgot to mention, I also worked on this unit test over here and a few of the other unit tests, but the unit test work wasn't as clearly divided as the source code work, so just had to mention that. Okay, that's about it. All right, let's quickly talk how to use the project. You're going to need VS Code, the Java extension pack, and the JDK. Make sure you set up your path variables properly. Once you install the required programs, you're going to download a copy of the source code from the repository, open your project in VS Code, and then you're going to put a copy of the assignment into the input folder, and your results should come to the output folder. When you want to change what file you're evaluating, you do that here. So if I change this over here to John Doe 1602422 and we run it, you get an error. No, sorry. You need to run it with Java. That's very important, not just run code. And there we go. Works fine. And you get your PDF in the output folder. Yeah, that's about it.